These are the stories we're tracking at this hour, and joining us to make sense of this is Charles Fakroha, iBrandTV business analyst. He's right here with me in the studio. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. So of these 4 stories, I think we should just start from the very beginning. World Bank's projection that Nigeria would be spending over 100%, servicing debt. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's a very big concern to the country as a whole, and of course even the economic managers, because it doesn't really make sense if you are owing and you are virtually using everything you are earning to service, not even repaying the debt, just servicing the debts. So it's a very big concern, and I believe the managers of the economy will be looking at this very well, because this report is coming from the World Bank, and we should take it seriously. But
when you say you believe the managers of the economy should be taking this seriously, before now, have they shown that they are really taking this seriously? Have you seen that in their policy statements or in their posture to, issues of the economy?
Well, they kept telling us about the debt to revenue ratio, GDP ratio,
exactly,
and all that, and we are still within manageable levels and all that. But looking at this critically, yes, even if we are in that same manageable level in terms of ratios, I've always said that ratio analysis is just a guide. And if you are, saying because the ratios are still within limits, then that is enough. It is not. The realities on the ground is you cannot continue to use all your revenue to service debt. What happened to other aspects of the economy? The economy will not be open, the economy will not grow, it will not develop, and there are so many things. And that's why even when the poverty report comes and you see how Nigerians have become. So I think it is something that they need to look at it seriously and see how we can increase our revenue, which is key, because that's one aspect of the equation. Then at the same time, we also have to look at these nations and say, look, yes, we are serious, we want to begin to repay some of these debts we have taken. Then, I won't say the government should stop taking debts. I will not say that, because, debt is necessary for development. But at the same time, at this critical stage, what I would advise is, for any debt we are going to take now, then it should be project specific.
All right, still talking about debt now. All of this happening now, is it as a result of not being able to manage these debts appropriately? Is it as a result of arrangements with those who have borrowed us these monies? Are there things we could have done better to avert, this level of increase that is being projected now?
Yes, there are ways we'll have done. If on one side, in terms of revenue, our revenue projection has increased, if we increase our revenue in terms of our exports and all that, then I think that we no need for us to get to this level of debt. Because if you recall, at one point in time, our revenues went down. And once your revenue is down, obviously you need to fund certain aspects of your budget. And that was why all those borrowings came into play. And of course, when that was going on, yes, I will agree with you. The economic managers were not taking it seriously. But now we are taking stock and we are saying that no, this level is so high. Because imagine it, if you are an individual, you have taken a loan, and
you won't even be able to sleep.
You are earning 100,000 naira.
You're not going to be talking about ratio.
And they are telling you that almost 100%, that is your 100,000 naira as your salary, is going, back to service. Not even repaying to service your debt. So
that's some level of irresponsibility, really, if you look at it.
Yes, I agree. That's why we need to come out with an effective way of increasing our revenue. That is the only way out for now. And of course,
so what are the sectors we need to look at now?
We've said this several times: diversify the economy. Thank God we have seen that non-oil sector is going to be doing better now. But just like in football, if you are always attacking and you are not defending, that is a problem. So leakages too, we need to look at that. Revenue agencies, if they generate so much, how much are they expected to remit to the federal government or the federation account? All this should be, and of course, we have so many Nigerians who are not in the tax brackets. So for you to increase your revenue, you don't have to kill those who are already paying tax, or because you try to make businesses not operate smoothly, you want to put so many multiple tax. We should create a balance, ensure that the tax that these SMEs are paying are reasonable for them to continue in business, and at the same time, for me, it is the leakage and the wastage in government. We should create that awareness that government agencies should try and see that wastages are reduced, and at the same time, these revenues that are collected don't end up with these revenue agencies. They should remit to the federal government as at when due, and of course there should be transparency so that the citizens will see what these agencies have generated, what they have remitted to the federal government, and will see that yes, they are actually paying some of these, because whether we like it or not, someday we must pay these debts. And I always say, he who goes borrowing goes sorrowing.
All right, let's look at the second story. That's the visa ranking, saying that Nigeria emerged third most improved in visa rankings. That's talking about Africa opening itself to one of African countries opening itself up. Talk to us about this.
It's a good development, of course. You know that the African Continental Free Trade Agreement that has been signed, of course, Nigeria rectified our own, and we begin to want to see the benefits of that Pan-Africanism. That is, we want to see free movement of goods and services, people within the African region. Yes, I'm not surprised that Nigerians are open to other Africans, coming to their country. But we've had our own problems in terms of these people not properly documented. Okay. And we know we have a lot of cultural heritage with some of these, our neighboring African countries. For me, it amazes me when, if somebody comes from, okay, I served in Borno State and I stayed for some time, somebody coming from Chad, of course, looking like a Kanuri person. And of course, you understand the Kanuri language and he speaks Kanuri. Obviously, he will tell you he's from Nigeria. You can't doubt him. Or is it Katsina State? Somebody coming from Niger Republic speaks Hausa. Of course, you can't doubt him that he's not from there. So that is an issue, trying to really know who is in Nigeria in those areas. And of course, I would not blame the indigenes there. Come to the southwest. We've seen people in the, is it Dahomey or Benin Republic, speak Yoruba, of course, fluently. And of course, they will tell you they have cultural heritage linkage of this person. So it is difficult to say yes. But most importantly, our immigration services should improve. They should be able to profile and document people who are coming to our country so that we know the exact number of foreigners. They can be tracked in case of this issue of terrorism, security, the inflow of small arms that are causing a problem in the country today. So yes, it's good. We have improved in that extent of the extent at which we welcome visitors from African countries is good, but we must be mindful of our security and ensure that these persons are properly documented. And we should encourage skills that we lack here in the country. Okay. Encourage those ones to come. Just like what some other developed countries are doing. They want people with certain skills to come to their country.
Very quickly, now that you started talking about economic impact, this is, it's called African Visa Openness Index.
Yes.
I'd like you to talk about, in terms of economy now, what are the prospects for Nigeria?
Yes, it will encourage more people to come to Nigeria. Again, like I said, they should be properly profiled. People should have certain skills when they are coming to a country. Yes, if they are coming to do farm work, I will not query. It's also a form of skill. If we don't have enough labor or farm workers and our people are not really ready to go to the farm, yes, we can get foreigners to come and do some of those works, just as they do in advanced countries, where certain foreigners do certain jobs that the locals don't want to do. So, no matter what, any person that is coming to the country should be adding value to our economy. And that is when, not the other way around. And that is when we begin to benefit from, of course, the Pan-Africanism we're all preaching about.
I like how that you're really so interested in the security and all of that, but that's okay. We understand the times we are in, and as Nigerians, we know what we're going through. All right, let's talk about the artisanal refiners who are saying that if the federal government allows them to, do what they want to do, that the sector will become better for it. Do you agree with that?
They're not saying federal government allow them want to. They should just do anyhow. No. What we are saying is, yes, there was a need. yes, you might say some of these persons are criminal elements, but for now, I will not say they are criminal elements. The issue of refinery, we can see even the government refineries have not been working. Of course, we've heard from the minister, state minister for state, telling us that, of course, the president is the substantive minister. The minister was telling us that, yeah, refineries will work, this, that, turnaround maintenance and all that. And as we speak, fuel is not available. And if some persons on their own have decided to do certain things in terms of refining some of these...
But aren't we looking at how they even get these products in the first place?
Yes.
Is it criminal or not?
Yes, if you ask me, I will tell you it's criminal. Okay. Because this is crude. And for you to get crude, of course, there must be some approval. You must have made some payments. Then they can pipe the crude into your refinery and you can refine. Yes, they are saying it's artisans, small scale, modular refineries. This is the time where the new DPR, I don't know what they call them now,
NMDP,
regulatory agency,
like that,
yes, they should come in now and see how they can regulate that space. We don't have a choice. People have started operating, so it is to create sanity.
Isn't that legalizing illegality? So that means tomorrow some persons can rise, you know, in another sector and begin to do certain things, expecting that someday we'll legalize what they are doing.
Yes, but operators are always higher or a step faster than regulators. So now that you have seen this, let us see how they can sanitize it, regulate it. If you want to
don't you think that says something about the federal government? If the federal government is, don't you say that's stooping low to, you know, legalize that sector? When the federal government has the power, the might and everything it takes, the resources to make refineries work, when it has all it takes to even build its own modular refineries, or even, you know, get
private individuals.
Exactly. So do you think the government would want to do that?
For me, I think this is a private sector driven. These are SMEs in the oil and gas sectors. And if, for now, they are meeting a need, it is just good for the government to intervene, sanitize the system, register them, give them some operating rules, guidelines exactly, for them to operate. And, of course, you know, the environment must be taken care of. If any of these artisans, refiners, they cannot meet some of those guidelines, then they should not be in operation. The ones that can meet those guidelines, they should allow them to operate. That is my own take. Because there is a shortage of these products.
And, you know, if the federal government were to take that action, that would be an indictment on the federal government in the sense that it has everything it takes.
Of course.
To open up that sector.
Yeah, but look at what happened to the crude oil theft. Is it not a private security outfit that is helping us and now collaborating with the security agencies, and we are seeing results? So as long as there is results, then let us encourage it. Of course, yes. And now is an hero, that particular individual. I'm not afraid to mention it. Tom Polo, government, because my brother, you know, and we are seeing the good work he's doing. You can imagine our crude oil production doing over 1 million barrels per day.
1.59 as of December 6th.
So what are we saying? And that is good revenue for the government. So you can see that there are times the government, yes, very mighty, but you need to stoop low to see how you can solve certain local problems. So the government should step in through the former DPRO and sanitize that artisanal refiners, sanitize their process, registration, and then ensure that there is some level of skill and operating environment for them, so that as they are producing, they meet international standard and they don't destroy the environment. All
right, finally, let's talk about the cash withdrawal. I mean, it seems that that story hasn't, there are so many, you know, a lot of persons talking about it. It hasn't left the mouth of analysts and industry watchers yet. NIPC right now saying that it's a good thing for them. What do you think?
Yes, well, it's mixed feeling, but if you ask me, I think it's very, very appropriate, my own opinion.
Okay, how is it so?
Yes, we should begin to, it's habits. To begin to imbibe that habit of, you know, cashless policy. Yes, I want to see the day where I will go to a local market day in my village, which I experienced recently, and I pay the woman who has brought, let me use their local fish that she has cast in the river, and she has
what did you say now?
It's fish.
Okay.
But that's the pronunciation there. She has brought it to the local market. You know, we call it Akembai, that is market day. And she's selling away. And I'm able to purchase that fish from her. And I'm doing, maybe it is maybe 2,000-3,000 naira. And I'm doing that transfer to her. And she's seeing it on her phone. And she's excited. You know, so I want to see that kind of thing happen, that where our cash transaction will be almost 99.9%, you know, reduced. So everything will be based on cashless policy. I want to see that kind of ideal. And gradually, we are getting there. Because I could notice the number of POS, or is it what? Yes, POS in that local environment. So many of them. And they are delivering a service to the local people. So it's an habit. If the locals can begin to imbibe that kind of cashless policy, then of course, everybody in the city should imbibe it. And I
would have loved to take you up on that, but we need to go now. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on the show today.
It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. We've been speaking with Charles Fakroha, iBrandTV business analyst. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll delve into the equities market for the week ended December 9. Stay with us.